Hello, welcome to today's collective general reading. As always, remember to use your own discernment, join with intention, and allow the message to be received with an open heart. A quantum reminder, we are speaking through symbol and story here. So please do not rely on tarot readings for factual evidence. You are always encouraged to do your own research, especially when engaging with strangers on the internet. So I had a channeled message come through that I want to give some context for, or perhaps that is the context for this reading that's coming. I'm recording this on Saturday, April 18th. So we just have stepped into the new moon in Aries. And this morning, a few hours ago, when I was like, okay, there's something in that wants to come out. So I will say the entities that came through were Janus, Hecate, Lilith, Selene, and also feathers. So perhaps feathers have been showing up for you in a different way. Let's see. So I think I'll just read through this. What have you held onto while trying to move on? The idea of when you go to put on your coat in the spring that you haven't worn all year and you find a tissue in the pocket. What did you forget to throw away? What is supposed to be out that you thought you already got rid of, but it's actually still in your arena? So releasing what you already threw away, forgotten baggage. We will get to this. What do you keep? What needs to leave? Even if it has served you a great purpose, its purpose has been fulfilled. And then the image story that came through is, at this point, you are the littlest hobo. And if you're not familiar with that show, is that from the 80s or the 90s? And every episode, there's this dog with his little knapsack that wanders from town to town, showing up and helping people just when they need it, right? Nothing against the show, but just the example of. And so you are little hoboing your your pain and baggage. I know it's a serious message, but also we gotta laugh, right? Right. You're carrying around your baggage, and if you haven't seen Littlest Hobo, pause this, Google it, so you know what I'm talking about. You have this pain and baggage that you're carrying around you with, I was gonna say from place to place, but with place to place. So you're carrying placement with you. You're kind of fighting against the tension of the 3D, of pentacle energy, of earthly world. You're carrying around your weight to then go solving other people's problems instead of actually freeing yourself. And not you personally, but in this metaphor, you are a dog. So what are you even doing carrying around a bag? And then coming back to us as humans, as I saw an ember fly up, you already have everything that you need inside of you. You're bracing for impact, therefore you are resisting the flow of energy. This needs adjusting. So that is what came through. Now, some of these things may look familiar, and they also may not. If you've been watching my videos for the past month and a half or so, this may look kind of familiar. This candle lived her whole life, and I had a bunch of things around the candle that then got surrounded in this wax as it melted. It's also cool to see the different layers and the different colors of wax. Something about what you think is all just one big clump is actually very specific, different pieces inside of you. okay? And all of these pretty, beautiful little stones here is everything that was sitting on that candle stand. And specifically, I want to point to this. I don't know if you can even see it in my hand. This tiny, tiny piece of sweetgrass. I had talked about this in a reading a couple weeks ago, and so I won't go too deep into it, but essentially I had placed one strand of sweetgrass on the side of the candle, not even really like offering it to the candle, but not realizing that it was going to get stuck inside wax. And it was that tension point of, I did this for a reason, even if I don't know why, but now it's going against what I think I want. So am I going to risk breaking the thing I'm trying to save by trying to forcefully remove it from the environment I placed it in? What's that phrase? Like, dare I say, it's the consequences to your own actions, you know? So this message, I think, is speaking to a lot of things. I don't get the sense it's anything in particular, aside from you've released it, but you have not let it go. We have Page of Sword and Page of Wands, justice and strength. Everyone is looking in a different direction. Looking left, looking right, looking straight ahead, looking down. Nobody is looking up. And so there's the thought of, well, nobody is looking, like nobody is fully backwards. Nobody is fully turned around looking in the past, right? Correct. But there's only one of them that is present with you, connecting with you here now in this moment. And I'm getting the sense that whatever it is that was for you to... I'm seeing these birds here and seeing I've never really looked at them before. And how this person, this page, is looking towards where the birds are moving. Feathers had come through. So perhaps it's following flight, following the whim of a bird. That's funny. I had actually thought that the world. I had thought that the channeling would have been quicker, but also with that world, it's the completion has come. What do we have? Grace, change, communication. Grace, change, communication. Who is this on top here? Inner flame. Okay. Grace, change, communication, wow, top and bottom. Inner angel and inner flame. To discover the angel in you is to rediscover your inner nature, to expand your own consciousness and that of humanity. Your inner flame is the fire that brings the vitality of the universe into your physical body. It's your source of light. What I'm seeing is that these two faces are looking in the same direction. Perhaps not at the same angle, but it is the same direction. It's interesting how this was like sandwich bookends to what I thought I was taking. But okay, here's the example that I'll talk about is something that you are doing. Is you're like, oh, okay, I'll use these cards as an example. I picked these 3 cards, so surely they must stay out. They remain. They are supposed to be here because I picked them, right? You put your intention, you put your attention towards something, and then you think you need to always follow through, to always carry that forward. You think you need to littlest hobo every message you receive. When actually, If I hadn't gone, who is that? Oh, they're on bottom. If I hadn't gone, who, because I was like, that doesn't even look the same. If I hadn't gone, who is this on top, and then who is this on bottom, I would have missed this inner angel, inner flame. And I think sometimes we put so much focus and attention on what it is that we are outwardly trying to create, we miss the synchronicities. We miss the parts that show up just for us. And so then there's this, well, if I put back all of these cards now, that means that this didn't matter and that I didn't care about that. And I'm like, no, change, communication, grace. Be graceful with yourself as you are allowing your inner compass to sturdy. Okay. So we're looking at direction. And what I was getting with this new moon, I suppose a way to explain it is like, I'll use the tissue in the coat pocket. You know how many times that happened to you? You put on a coat that you haven't worn in a long time and you reach in the pocket and there's a tissue there. And you don't normally have the thought of, I'm so mad at myself. I'm so angry at myself. I'm so disappointed in myself that I left this garbage lying around. What a terrible person that I am. I'm so untidy. I'm so unclean, etc., etc. No. Most of us have the thought of, oh, I forgot to throw that out. Anyway, we have guidance, which says, request guidance for each of your uncertainties and take action to revive your inner fire. Back to this inner flame. And what I'm getting is this, sometimes when you come upon a tissue, when you come upon baggage that you thought you'd gotten rid of but is still around you, you don't need to make a big deal out of it. You don't need to have this like sudden showdown. What do I do? What do I do? You can get rid of it. And if you're not sure that you're ready to get rid of it, speak to your, again, use your own terms, right? Speak to spirit, speak to your spirit team, your spirit guides, speak to source, speak to a larger consciousness that you believe in. Speak to yourself, journal about it, right? New perspectives. Instead of being disappointed and angry with yourself for not living up to your self-placed expectation of existing as personified perfection, take a second, cool down. What if it's not that big a deal? I know that's such a scary thought, because we put so much intention on all of these different emotions and experiences that surely if I just get rid of them, that means that they never mattered. And then I'm a bad person because I never cared. Or then I guess it didn't really mean anything to me because now I don't need it anymore. No. You can have need for something, things can have purpose, and you can still move on. You can still let them go. And letting go doesn't mean you need to throw it away. I'm not throwing away this kunzite. I'm keeping it. I'm putting it back into its little bottle, right? This is where it belongs. Until I have use for it again and I take it out of the bottle. But I think some of us, some people, some more often than others, some more intensely than others, feel the weight of words and beliefs and values placed upon us by others. Other people who perhaps didn't have your best Why are words suddenly so hard? I really, when I sat down, I was just like, okay, this is going to be like a half an hour just talking about the channel. It's going to be like 2 readings, etc., because that's how I normally do it. But perhaps it's this switch of just because it's how you normally do it doesn't mean this is your new normal. Okay. We are creating a new normal. Wow. With the little jump. With the thread of what was, I don't need to mourn the rest of the sweetgrass that is somewhere here encased in this pile of wax. It is one strand that I had made in offering, and its purpose has been served. What would be an issue is if I never got rid of any of this wax because I was attached to it. You know, and like, girl, I've been like this. Like, you know, you find a rock that's a special rock, so you take it home. There's, oh, well, that's a napkin from an event that was specific, I'll take that. You, like, it's not to hold on to material items for, I'll say, like, for greed, for proof, for showcase to others that you have. It's not about that, but there is a resistance in letting go. And this is what the channeled, as a hitch in my throat, so yes, what the channeled message was talking about the resistance with the universe. And you may use different words to talk about these things. You go, Glen Coco. So proud of you, Glen Coco. But also, don't worry about me. Now, is everything that was here? No, the moonstone is elsewhere. It doesn't mean that this is not still a beautiful pile of rocks with a very specific intention that has been in place. Okay. Ten of Stones. It's funny, I was thinking about this card the other day. 10 of Pentacles. And this is the Mindscapes Tarot. So good. Such a beautiful deck. The story of stones in this deck is a city that is being built. Oh my goodness, I'd never actually realized these 9, whatever you call it, in the sky. They look like snowflakes, but I know that they are much bigger to be in the sky like that. Perhaps it's 9 worlds. Because the story of stones in this deck is a city being built. And like the 5 of stones is the city getting hit by a windstorm. There's all this destruction. And the 6 is they have to rebuild. And 8 is when it's, oh my goodness, it's all together. This looks to be everything. And then 9, they add all the color to the city. And it's, wow, I thought this was everything, but now I see this is even more everything. This is amazing. And 10 is that city has come and gone for thousands of years. It's, wow. And there are pieces buried here still. This might be the tower that the King of Stones is in, and where the Page of Stones is architecturing the city. All of that planning, all of that energy, all of that intention is now buried, but it does not mean that it's lost. And I'm getting this now in terms of, you could say Atlantis, but like hidden knowledge, hidden lands that have not been forgotten, but the memories are only seeds. And it's for you to grow those seeds of remembrance. What do we have? We have Page of Branches, the Chariot, and the Hermit. I don't normally pay much attention to like the border color of the cards themselves. I don't really notice the difference, but I'm very clearly seeing green, red, and blue. So seeing heart, root, and throat. Something about building an interconnection bridge between, between your heart space and your root, or rooting your heart in new knowledge. But you need to use your own inner voice to be doing that. All of these cards are, you're starting at the bottom in the foreground. Is that the right word for it? You're starting in the bottom, and it's the illusion of movement forward, right? You have that with the staircase here. You have that being at the bottom of the lake. You have that being like in a treehouse of some sort, and there's these steps down. And here there isn't an entitied focal point. It's just possibility. It's just full option. Here we see a boat, but we don't know if we are the person in the boat. We don't know if we are someone in the sky watching this appear. I see pyramids here in the background. I hadn't noticed that before. And here the Hermit, so many things I'd never noticed before. If you look inside the cave, you can see a swirl, like a spiral on the wall. I had never noticed that. Again, this deck is so freaking beautiful. I'm realizing how many times I just said, I never noticed. I hadn't noticed that. I didn't notice that before. There's something that is appearing to you that you had not seen before. The sun, oh, and yeah, and it might mess up some of the stuff that you have. It might make a little chaos. It could be tower energy, right? But I'm seeing the sun and Page of Tides. Yellow and this calmer blue border. Peace. Happiness and joy. Page of Tides is the Page of Cups. I was going to say, which page? Because we have 4 pages here. We don't have any knights. We don't have any queens or kings. So this is totally new. The idea of living for joy and happiness is a totally new concept to you. And you're figuring out how you want to actually navigate that. We'll do a little sacred geometry, and then I think she's a close. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I had these 2 decks joined for a while, and they've now been separated. And I noticed that I use the first one a lot, but I don't often reach for the second one. Anticorana. I laugh because this had come out, I think, in the previous reading, and I talk about Anticorana all the time. Look it up. Just because like I've half explained it a number of times, but I feel that the message who this is for, because Anticorana keeps coming up, look into this on your own. There is a message here about this divine connection with spirit, this 3 of Cups energy. Hmm. 62, Shadow and Grace. My first thought is that card from the Indigo Artist deck. Grace had come through, and it came and went. And what I'm seeing with Shadow and Grace here is that it's not about just focusing on light, love, and happiness. There is something deep within you asking to be unlocked. And maybe you haven't been going there because you're scared, because you don't know what is hiding within your shadow. I'll say what's hiding within your shadow and what your shadow is hiding. And there is a difference there. But I'm being told to let that be felt by you. top and bottom. Ooh. So we have 52 elemental embrace, which I laugh because there was a reading a couple months ago and these cards kept coming out for like a week. And then 37, emissaries of love. I don't think I've had this. If I had, I haven't paid it much attention. This noticing, right? And I'm so aware of the non-symmetry. I was going to move that one, but that moves the flame, and I was like, Or perhaps that's part of the message, is like sometimes you do need to move the immovable, move what seems impossible as elsewhere. And was that so hard? No, actually. And you know what? There is still plenty of room. The message that I'm getting is that you think through the destruction of your creation that you need to give up more than it is that you will lose. You're scared to act because you don't want to risk. You don't want to take a risk. Seeing here the dolphins all coming back in to this green heart space. Oh, and there's people there in the middle. Something in me is saying this is like, if you are not familiar with internal family systems, that could be an interesting Google. I am not a psychiatrist. I am not someone to be in a diagnosing position. I am just saying that's like a therapeutic framework that someone may find intriguing. But what I was getting is that someone keeps continuing back to their heart space, to their own inner world, their inner circle. And you're afraid to look into your shadow. I'm seeing beyond the shadow this tree that's also Mother Earth spreading out her arms, right? And Spirit is right here saying, hello. Hello, speak to me. Square. It can be that simple. Sometimes, oftentimes, we as the humans, we are the ones making this more complicated than it needs to be. Including me, who had such like an odd time navigating this message. Okay. I'm gonna leave this here. So you're welcome to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to hear from me more often. In the description, you'll find a link to the 444 Collective hosted on Substack, which is a virtual ecosystem that I'm growing and hoping to be kind of a closed space where we can dive into things a little deeper. Stay tuned.